What's going on, YouTube, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at the Vancouver Canucks potentially trading up for Connor Bedard. Guys, it's not going to happen, and I'm going to explain why. So Connor Bedard is currently projected to be the first overall pick in the 2023 NHL Draft. There's been a lot of buzz about this kid, about what he could be in the NHL. Potentially a cornerstone franchise center in the National Hockey League. He spent the last couple years in the WHL with the Regina Pats and has been an all-time superstar. He's been selling out the Scotiabank Saddle Dome on their trips out to Calgary. He's been a guy that's been really cleaning up for the WHL, making them a lot of money. And now Connor Bedard is about to get drafted into the NHL. And there's a lot of rumors for the North Vancouver native. Could he potentially get traded to the Vancouver Canucks in some kind of package where we've seen the Canucks do it in the past? I believe they had the second and third overall pick to select both Sedins. You wonder what would it take for the Canucks to get the Vancouver native out of Chicago, who currently holds the first overall pick. And, you know, the reality is it's just not going to happen. The amount that the Canucks would have to be willing to give up, and even I don't know if that's enough, in order to get a guy like Connor Bedard here. The Blackhawks have everything to lose if they lost him. And I hate to say it, it's the similar extent to, like, Connor McDavid getting traded. And that is a conversation that's being had right now, maybe the next year or two. But why would the Blackhawks trade a player like that, right? Because no amount of value equals that player. It's not worth it. And the Canucks right now, they have their own first-round pick this year and next year. They don't have their second-round pick this year or next year. They have 2 third-round picks this year, 3 fourth-round picks, and 2 fourth-round picks next year. So they have a little bit of depth draft capital on them. But I hate to say it, that's probably not going to get it done for a guy like Connor Bedard. Now, they do have a top 10 pick here with their own first-round pick, which is going to be top 10. But other than that, like, what are you trading to Chicago that is going to entice them to make that deal work? Now, you have Quinn Hughes. I just don't see that happening. But if you traded a top 10 pick this year, Quinn Hughes, and you've got to trade one of those guys, maybe it's a Brock Besser, like, or Vasily Podkolzin, like, I just don't, that makes no sense to me. I don't know, maybe Canucks fans are like that dead set on having Connor Bedard, but even if that's the case, let's say you did trade. Okay, let me just pick a name. Let's say Podkolzin, Hughes, and a first-round pick this year. First of all, Canucks Nation will say no. And I hate to say it, I think Blackhawks fans will say no, because the value you get from Connor Bedard, I hate to say it, is more of a rarity and more of a hot commodity than those 3 players, those 3 assets that the Canucks have combined, which is kind of just telling of how much value and the ceiling potentially for what Connor Bedard can be. But that's kind of the reality of the situation here, where I just don't think the Canucks can find a way to make it work. So from here to the draft, you're going to hear a lot of rumors about, you know, maybe we're going to see some kind of deal where Connor Bedard goes to the Canucks and this and that. And the grim reality is it's not going to happen. The amount of value it would take just isn't feasible in the marketplace in the NHL. Unless you're trading Connor McDavid for Connor Bedard, that is probably the closest thing to a trade that you will see. There are very, very, very few players in the NHL I would trade for Connor Bedard. Maybe it's McDavid. Maybe it's a guy like McKinnon. But other than maybe those two, and I'm even talking about Crosby, I think other than maybe those 2 players, you're not going to trade Connor Bedard. There's no deal that's going to be worth your while to make that one work. So I want to hear what you guys think down below. Do you guys think these rumors are kind of bogus? Do you believe the hype that maybe Connor Bedard could end up getting his pick traded to the Canucks, and the Canucks end up drafting the Vancouver native? I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again next time.